Yeah.
And welcome back to the East County Prep Football Preview Series. I'm Ramon Scott, joined by my partner at eastcountysports.com, Dave Dickens. And Dave, just a little less than 48 hours from kickoff for some teams, less than 24 hours, but we're very thankful to have the El Capitan Vaqueros join us tonight and preview the upcoming season. Dave, want to introduce everybody joining us here. Xavier Peace, Savi Yokley, Antwone Yokley, they're down there together at the bottom. Alex Faea and Austin Oesterling. And, of course, in between us, Dave, Coach Ron Berner. Thanks, Ron, for coming. I'm so honored. And, Dave, thanks for getting our guests together.
Absolutely. Hey, we were saving the best for last. That's the way I look at it anyway. You know, somebody might be upset about that, but that's just the way it goes. Anyhow, it is great to see you guys on, and you know, coming off a three-way tie in a shortened season with just everything under the sun that could go south. But as we recall, Coach Berner remembered, and if you guys remember, he said, "We will play." He was one of the few that knew that you guys were going to play. He didn't know when, but he knew that you guys were going to play at some point. I'm going to start with Yavi on that. What do you think's with that shortened season? Do you think that going into this season, it's going to be an extra help, like a little tune-up, and then only having 6 weeks off or 6 weeks plus? Yavi, you hear me?
Is that for Savi, you said, Dave? I'm sorry.
For Savi, sorry. Yeah.
Who'd you have it?
For Savi. That's my freaking. I need some glasses on.
It for me?
Yeah.
Did you hear the?
Oh,
Did you hear it, or you want me to repeat?
oh yeah, can you repeat that? It cut out. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. I was just basically in a nutshell. What do you think as far as the shortened season last year? Do you think that helped quite a bit, and then having a shorter off season to prepare for this season?
Yeah. That was good for us because we all thought having a season to harder and do better, and then having a off season already because we're ready. We're in that momentum and we're ready for this season.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at. I mean, it was a three-way tie, but you know, it wasn't a full season, and I'm sure you're looking forward to all the games. And you know, with things going on these days, we're just hopeful for tomorrow. You know, for Friday's game, and we really look forward to game by game with everything that's going on these days. Can you tell me about your returners on the offensive line and who you got that you're really looking to play with this year, and maybe even some youngsters on the receiving corps?
Well, I'm looking to play with all my returning guys last year. Like we have offensive line out there, have Austin out there. I feel like we could do a lot of.
Yeah, the guys are coming in just a little bit choppy down there, Dave. We'll get to maybe some more of these guys to give us some more names of their teammates who are looking good. I'll give you this, Dave. You know, we talk about the championship shared by the Vaqueros and, of course, the other two teams. But I introduced today in the prediction column that, hey, guess what? Who's got the longest winning streak out of any 11-man football team right now in the East County? That would be the El Capitan Vaqueros. That three-game winning streak to end the season last year. Just had to give you guys upbeat momentum really heading into this season, especially look at the crew you got here on screen. It's kind of a veteran crew coming back. Xavier, did you hear me?
Oh, what was up?
Just the fact that you guys are coming in off that 3-game winning streak, it's the longest winning streak of any team in the East County to open the season, if you will, and giving you guys kind of the momentum that you need. Look at the veterans we have on screen here. You guys have got quite a good returning cast. Had to get you guys pretty excited, even like Dave said about the short wait, just getting ready for this season. I don't think that people know what's up at El Cap quite yet.
Excited to see strong. Even the new kids, you know, coming up on. They're all with the championship mindset. This, I think personally, I feel like this. Hey, we come out there and strike a lot of people in the mouth. Like, don't underestimate us this season. We coming out there to play this season. So look out for the Vaqueros on y'all schedule, bro.
And as far as X, would you say is it going to be a pretty good mixture of running and throwing the ball this season? I'm sure that we got some special plays that Coach Berner's got in his back pocket that he'll save for a special time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Here, since we've got a lot of hands, also got a lot of speed, we've got a lot of athletic kids on our team. Especially for our skill. I think we've got a big hand pass game this season. It's just little things we've got to get down, and I feel like this team can really dominate this season.
No doubt, Dave. These guys, we've got some explosive players joining us. I mean, Xavier, I went to the CIF track meet. I mean, he is a CIF champion runner. He won a couple of races. You got Alex. He was with us at the CIF. He was a medalist at the track meet. He was interning for us up there. Appreciate what Alex did. Alex, hey, I thought you looked pretty good despite what happened in the scrimmage. I know that you guys were out there in our top players looked pretty good. I thought you were all over the place in that game and all over the place in the spring as well. Alex, how you guys looking forward to this Friday night in the season?
I'm just really excited this Friday because I just want to hit somebody this Friday. This is my last season, and I hope this season will be like really good this Friday, and this Friday will be like the 3-win streak game we did last year.
What do you think, Ron? Is this coach? Has it been a much more dynamic group that you have returning this year as a whole?
Everybody seems to really get along well, and that's always a big part of, we're very athletic. It seems like everybody really gets along well. It's an actual family, and in my experience, and you can have athletes, but if they don't all get along and mesh together, then things kind of don't come together. And I really believe, unless some COVID thing happens with what's going on around town, and we all stay together, we can make a pretty good run. Our whole league will be competitive, and everybody we play is good, but we really feel as a unit, the way we're practicing right now and the enthusiasm and what we're doing, that we could be a force.
Yeah, for sure, Coach. I think, just looking at, not just on paper, but talking to some of these guys last year too, it definitely, they were talking about this season ahead of time and how excited they were to come back to the field and get back to work. So I definitely think you got some true professional-minded kids that are, they got some high football IQ as well, and that's always a plus and an added bonus, especially when you're trying to run a high-powered offense. Thabi, he can take off, but he can sure huck the ball down the field too, and pretty accurately and pretty solid as far as his receivers are concerned.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, I think they show. I was giving them a hard time before the show day because I watched the scrimmage against Imperial. Coach set me straight and said the ones their game was on, and yes, the Yokley twins down there, they did show what they had with that touchdown in that game. So what Ron said is right. You look at the schedule, Dave, of El Capitan this year. You roll the fact that there's a lot of veterans on this club. They're coming in with the 3-game winning streak, the momentum of getting to share the title. These games are winnable. I mean, they're quite honestly, they're all Here's the thing, and I think the guys know this, so I'm not, just blowing smoke to these guys. They're all winnable, but they're all competitive as well. And sometimes, Austin, that's where experience comes in.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the veterans returning on this club.
You talking about like us
In general, the camaraderie and the chemistry, or if you got guys you want to shout out, I'd like to hear some names.
For sure. Obviously, we got Savi, we got Antwone, Alex, and X. Returning, we got Angel, Julian. We got some incredible players, and I think from coming straight off and having like a short off season really helped everyone come a little closer because we've just been hitting and going hard all the time, and I think like it helps us become like beyond teammates. We're a family. You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, Austin, were you guys were you continuing your workout program, let's say the weight room, keeping the cardio going even in that off season? So no one was parking, and I'm holding you guys to this. You guys didn't park yourselves in front of the TV and get those thumbs worked out on the Xboxes quite as often, right?
We're staying good. We're staying strong.
Hey, I don't want to, ruin our PG-13 rating down there, so I'm going to direct one at Antwone. He's next to his brother down there. The chemistry you have, Antwone, you think you guys can hook up several times this year for some passing connections?
Of course. He's an accurate thrower, so he throws it needs to be, and we could do some things this year.
I'm glad you said it that way. A lot of times because of Savi's, I don't want to say deliberate. I mean, obviously being a left-hander makes things, sometimes they look spectacular, and sometimes if it goes awry, everybody says, what was that? But his improv ability, if that, I might have just made up a word, but his ability to make plays, I mean, it turns a busted play into a big play. I don't want to go ahead, Antwone. Pump up your brother some more. I'm trying to. Ron teased him earlier, trying to get our PG-13 off here.
Yeah, he's a mini Lamar Jackson. He could throw the ball very well, but if he needs to, he could make a big play.
Oh my gosh! I think I've got me a future analyst down there, Coach, coming up with two big references. But look, maybe I'm teasing a little bit with Savi because of what he was kind of rushed into. Look, let's face it, Ron. If Savi was at a different position, he's already one of the top players in the county. We know that. If he was in a different position, he might be an elite player. That's the ultimate team player right there.
He is an elite player, and he's an elite player because he was willing to sacrifice for the team. He's a wide receiver and a safety and probably one of the top 5 in all of San Diego. But he, at first reluctantly, came over and said, "Coach, this is what we need to do. If this is what's going to get us to win, then I'm all in." And he has been all in. I'll tell him sometimes, go to receiver. Nope, I'm a quarterback. So, just some things that we kind of convinced him about. And, like even on a great day at wide receiver with a great quarterback and great O-line, a great game is going to be 15 catches, right? That's pretty much record going. But we probably have 55 to 60 offensive plays a game. I mean, he touches the ball every single time. So every time he has a chance to make something happen. And I used to help him a little bit, J.R. Tolver, who was the Aztec all-time great wide receiver, went to play for Miami. He came out and talked to him for me. JR in high school didn't catch one pass. He was a left-handed quarterback, and so he had a chance to talk to him about it, and he was pretty fired up about it. And he's super humble. Like he knows he's good. Every one of these young men in front of you are very good football players, but they're even better human beings, and like they're like my sons, so I have to watch out about bragging about them, but they're pretty awesome. Savion's, and Antwone is in Savion's shadow sometimes, and he is just as electric as his brother, but he's a little more quiet. And part of the problem is that when I start getting excited with these guys, I start to stutter, and then we have a little stutter fest going on in the huddle. It's kind of funny.
With what I'm saying when these guys, and of course I want them to connect many times, but because he's a left-hander, the way he delivers the ball, and because of Antwone's ability, it just seems like people say, they want to get away from the end zone fade. These two look like they're made for it.
I joke them sometimes because there's times when we call a certain play and we have a primary target, and it's not obviously always. It could be our running back, it could be a slot, and so. But I will yell in practice to Antwone like, "Hey, you were wide open. He didn't throw to you on purpose." So because they also both play defense, so it's kind of funny is that when we're doing, Antwone will be playing corner and he'll get even more uptight and mad and go make some pretty big plays on him. So it's a fun little deal that we have going on. It's exciting. I'm really excited. This is the last of the Yokleys I have. I'm just hoping some grandkids are coming through pretty soon. I might have some more.
We might be if Savi keeps sitting there like that, we're going to be sooner than later. But Dave, you've joked about these guys these years because of the family legacy of the Yokleys, but really, I teased it in the debut prediction column today. It looked like there are four guys out there because, just like Ron said, they're both playing both ways. So, but several of these guys are too. You look at Alex. You kind of got. I don't know if it'd be fair to characterize, but you have Xavier, who is an explosive player. Who, to me, I've written about him being able to score at any time, and that was before he was a double CIF champion, of being able to score every time he touches the ball. But you got Alex, who kind of gives you like a thunder and lightning approach, I would think, in there. Alex, he's a bulldozer.
I tell you right now, I would not want to be a safety when Alex busts through the line because he doesn't avoid them. X puts a move on, he's gone. Alex, his move on is I'm running over you, and he's an unselfish player, and it's fun to have both of them because it's a whole different mix. When you have Xavier in there, it's a speed thing, and what a lot of people don't realize with Xavier and Savigon, I have two running backs and they're two guys that are running 4.5 40s, 4.6 40s, right? So they can do all kinds of things. But then we put Alex in there and he just mows people over. Like he doesn't care. And a lot of times we don't use him at linebacker in our 11-11 and 7 in practice because he doesn't have the switch to tone it back. So if somebody goes across the middle, whether they're a vaquero or not, they're going down. So we try to tone him down a little bit. So we put him at nose a little bit in practice to give our center work. And it's kind of funny, huh, Alex?
Alex, that's crazy because, when I met you and I teased it out, maybe I should explain a little further. Alex was with us at that track meet after he got his medal and he came up. We were writing we had the media and we had the assistant coach of the Vaquero track team. He's a great track announcer. But Alex came up there and I wouldn't even say volunteered his time. He just sat with us and made sure that when the lady came to give us the results, Alex kind of handled the chore, make sure we got the right slips. And you talk about unselfish, Dave. Alex, I don't even think he got a Chick-fil-A sandwich out of it. Alex, how can you be so excitable and uncontrollable on the field and such a mild-mannered sweetheart off the field? I hope you heard me, brother.
I got I got that from my mom because my mom's like very nice to other people, but when she comes to me, she's very mean. So I basically got that for her. Like basically, yeah. It's like when like I'm off the field, I be nice to people. When I'm on the field, I got that switch. Is like it's game time. It's time to hit people. Like time to hit, like take people's head off or something. It's my mindset.
Shout, hey, shout out, Mom. I think you did pretty well.
Yeah, she's
Hey,
gonna
Aaron.
take care of.
Hey, Austin. As far as turning it on Friday night for you guys, look. It's going to be an interesting game. People are going to be talking about this. It's probably going to get a little more high profile than normal because of the situation involving your opponent. But all you've had to do is know that they don't have much. What has Coach shown you guys about this team? Because I'm not sure they have a lot of true film to even go on. What are you guys looking at as far as the I want to get it right, the Canyon Hills Rattlers, and for anybody who doesn't know, that's the old Sarah Conquistadors. Dave can make fun of that in just a moment. Austin, what do you know about these guys?
I've seen a little bit of film, but as far as general knowledge, I'm just going in and I'm just ready to do damage. You know, it don't really matter what we know about them, but at the end of the day, we're a strong team and we're gonna do our best.
I don't think he's dodging the question. I don't think, Dave, that that Coach Berner and the staff are not preparing these guys. I really think there's not a whole lot to go on, and El Cap is going to have to rely on their experience and talent, possibly when they get out there and see exactly what they're up against, Dave.
Well, I mean, the Conquistadors. I'm going to say it. That's right. They a lot of their talent has graduated. I mean, they had some guys for a while there. I think it was Zembrowski. Really, I mean, a phenomenal quarterback. I'm sure Ron could attest to that. But they had a pretty solid team. I know Santana went back and forth with them a couple of times. I believe it was 2 years in a row. But as of recently, yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of information on the whatever they want to call it, Canyon or Sarah or whatever they want to be. But the bottom line is, I think that the Vaqueros have the firepower, the mindset, the speed on both sides of the ball, and I think and the experience. I think that's what's really going to play out, and they're going to come out on top. And I don't think by edging them out, I don't want to pump up anybody's head too much, but I think that they're going to handle business. Let's just put it that way.
Coach, what do you really know about them, other than the fact that the coach has only been on the job for about 3 weeks? They do look like they have a lot of new personnel.
You know, they have a little bit of advantage over us, I think, they could see a lot of our film, what we do. We researched their coach out, really good coach, very organized and detail oriented. They've got some ballers over there. I don't know, who's saying that, they're not good because they went against Monte Vista and Sweetwater in their scrimmage, and everybody knows scrimmages are just that. They're controlled practices for the most part, but they've got some really good players, a couple of good corners, a linebacker that's really good. The quarterback did, what they did. They didn't show a lot, but it's going to be, the Canyon Hills. When Coach Smith was up there, he just left them. They built a heck of a program up there, and I think a lot of the kids are still there from his freshman and his JV team. So I don't see a slacking going on just because there's a new coach in there. I still think they have a lot of the foundation that he built and his staff built, and it's going to take everything we have to beat these guys. It's not, we don't have a game that we just say the Vaqueros are here and we show up, and all my guys know that. I preach this every day in practice to them. Our most important game of the whole year is the first game. It's a game we're playing right now, and we take nobody lightly. we're putting the pedal to the metal no matter who we play, and we respect everybody that we're playing.
You just mentioned.
Yeah, in fact, that's just
Coach,
me talking, Dave.
Yeah, you just mentioned, Coach, about about a new coach over there, and that leads me into my next question of your staff this year and how well a lot of them coming back have done for you thus far. These kids.
All the coaching's me. It's nobody else. So no. I have a great coaching staff. At all of my levels, we have a great staff. Not only great football minds, but great mentors and guys that care about our players at each position. It's we didn't lose any coaches from last year. Everybody came back. Everybody's excited. We're all on the same page. I've just got my assistant head coach is also my athletic director, Sean McDade, and he's by far the most popular of all of us because he's a popular guy outside of football, but he's a great guy and he's a great mind. And as a defensive coordinator, he does his homework. Like I said, I have a great staff. I'd match our staff up with anybody.
Savi, what do you think? You and your brother, you've been through the gamut with this program. What do you think of these leaders that you have, these coaches?
Every year I've been here, that was the best. Ron Brent was always a father to us. I feel like the staff was always there for us and therefore.
And Antwone, the meals aren't too bad either, huh?
The meals?
Yeah. Coach is hooking us up with meals now and then, right?
Before the games, Nicolosi, he has the pasta.
Okay.
And all.
That's it.
Nice plug. Nice plug.
That was that was professional work by me. That was a lead-in right there. We're gonna let that slide. I set that one up, Dave. Dave, I just want to tell you about researching a little bit, of course, on the history. I wanted to, of the game when I previewed it today, and I don't know if Ron had a chance to see it, but I talked about El Cap beating Sarah about 7 years ago, 42-0. But in 2012, Ron, you're going to remember this one if you've read it yet. 9 years ago was the double overtime game with Brad Cagle throwing for 450 yards. But you guys led that game 20-7 at halftime. And you told Bill in a quote at the end of the game, I don't think this was probably the actual quote, but it said something to the effect of, I can't believe that we put up those kind of numbers and ended up losing this game by that score. Do you remember that night?
Yeah, I remember it. There was a lot of discussion going on later on the way home and when we got home, but we were pretty electrifying and it went back and forth. And we ended up, they ended up beating us on a PAT 2-point conversion. They made theirs, we didn't. And but it was a good game. I mean, I can only imagine being a fan, like just watching that much offense going back and forth. It was gut wrenching as a coach, but that kind of set Brad's class up and DJ's class up for what we did later on that game, believe it or not.
Hey, Savi, that probably is a little bit close enough in Vaquero history. You certainly probably know Brad and have talked to him. Do you think you have 450 yards of total offense in you Friday night?
I got probably 450 yards.
Dave, what do you think? I think if we give 450, look, I think we can win this game. I think that even if Ron wants to say, look, I agree. Let's go in with trepidation. Let's go in with concern. Let's attention to detail, and then turn Alex loose. Of course, that's all we need to do. But they have to have the confidence, Dave. These guys have to have the confidence that they are expected to win this game over Canyon Hills. I know this is a season preview, Dave, but I think that the coaches are knowingly putting that on them a bit, Dave.
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure. And I think, really the coach said it best. I mean, this is the first game. I mean, that's a good measuring stick anyway. And then the next game that they're playing at the present time is going to be another good measuring stick. So, and you talked about the schedule. It looks favorable, but it all depends on how much hard work these kids, and it looks like they do. And from talking to these gentlemen and also Coach, they've been putting the work in. So you put that kind of work in and you put your mind to it. I mean, a lot of times, even some of those teams that look better on paper and have a little bit more talent, we can beat those teams. As I've seen Will and Hart win many a games, too many to talk about or write about. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a change, Ron. We heard about your game next week with Hilltop. That has been moved. That's a home game, right? And it's been moved to Thursday?
Correct.
Was that-
So, yeah, well, because the rodeo now is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that week, there was no way we could play a Friday game at home because there's no parking. It would have been a nightmare. So we were moving down to Hilltop, and then I called Coach Wagner down there and said, "Hey, would you mind playing on Thursday? Because we're short officials anyway, so it's helping them out." And he willingly agreed. So yeah, we're going to go Thursday on that night.
Okay, and I think that's because the rodeo is the rodeo's in a new season is what's happened here. That's why this has not happened before. So, but yeah, Dave, look, like I said, just look at these games. These guys, I'm not throwing it out there to these guys. I'm just telling you that you listen to this schedule. These games are all winnable, yet they're all competitive games because, look, El Capitan, I'm not saying they're learning how to win. I think they know how to win now. I don't want to say it like that, but I mean, that 3-game winning streak, that was impressive at the end of the season. But you have Hilltop at home and Coronado at home after this. Then you're playing RBV on the road away at the Braves. We got Santana at home, Mount McGill on the road, home against Valhalla, home against Monte Vista. Monte Vista, even though that's home, Monte Vista is going to be hungry after El Caps, basically stunned them to grab their share of the league title last year. And then at West Hills, and I described them today, Dave. I don't know, Coach, these guys, maybe they agree. They played them last year in a good game, but West Hills is kind of my East County sleeper right now because I think they've got also a lot of returning talent, and I think they might put something up on Kearney because they're better than Kearney this week. So West Hills is kind of my little sleeper. It's going to be El Cap at Kearney at the end of the season. So we know that in the Hills League, like Ron said, I mean, you could put 5-6 teams in a hat, possibly, but still, I like this team's chances, Dave.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. The league itself, I think, is it's up for grabs. I don't really think that there's a terrible team in the league at all. I think that everybody's going to get a shot. I think what it's going to come down to, and I'm sure these guys have heard it many times too, is who's got the healthiest squad come at the middle of the season and at the end when it's at its most crucial point. So, and then it also depends on, a lot of times some of those smaller programs, unfortunately, you don't have that depth. You got to make sure that those starting guys stay healthy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One more round of questioning, maybe, and then we'll get on out of here. And I mean, hey, we got to get to bed, man. We're getting hyped up. Maybe, Dave, I was a little bit down on some of the other shows as we led up to it, but I'm getting pretty excited now with those 2 games tomorrow. Hey, Xavier, want to note something very interesting about the El Capitan Vaqueros this season. We already know. I live in Lakeside. The city of Lakeside kind of had a flag tradition now, if you will. There's actually been a little bit of local controversy in the community. You guys have new helmets this year, and I will say, and maybe Ron can correct me if I'm wrong, the flag controversy that came up over the last couple of weeks, these helmets were ordered probably well before that. You just don't order these on the fly. These are beautiful red, white, and blue helmets. Xavier, does a red, white, and blue helmet look good with that gold and black uniform?
To be honest, I don't too much like the look of it, but I understand the meaning with it representing the country and coming up with military Friday. It's a good show of respect, especially to our military. Especially my family, I have a military family, so it's kind of a nice show of respect. I think it's pretty cool. I just don't think it looks good with our current color. But
I think that's I think that's a completely fair answer. You basically have stated that you appreciate and like everything that stands for. It just looks a little bit different. I almost had the same feeling, Alex. So you want to chime in on that? Maybe you had an expression there.
No, I was just like, I don't know what X is talking about, but like, I think it looks nice.
Coach, these guys may be hot and cold on it all together. What went into the plan? I think they look very, very cool, and it's different from what you've had in the past, even though you guys have always kind of sported state-of-the-art uniforms every year.
So we still have our EC with black and gold, and that does look by far the best with our theme and our what we are. But my thinking was, and these were ordered a long time ago. This is the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and to me, it's a huge thing. And a lot of these young men obviously weren't around, but they don't even, I don't know how much of them even really know. And so we're trying to, really kind of instill again, and, what our country's about and what happened. And, Lakeside, come on, we're, red, white, and blue everywhere out there. And so when we designed it and we looked at it, at first I was only going to do it for our Military Appreciation Day. And when a couple of coaches we kind of did the samples, everybody really liked it. So now, like, I'm getting hundreds of requests just for the EC, the red, white, and blue EC, just for people to put on their cars and stuff. So that was the idea behind it originally. And X is right. I mean, you look at it and you go, hey, we're not red, white, and blue, right? We're black and gold, but it symbolizes something much deeper. And that's kind of what my message is what we're doing is,
Can you see as it's always so beautiful this time of year, especially on game night, as the sun sets in Lakeside. Can you see the illuminated flag display across the freeway from the stadium, or is it too low?
No, it's kind of blocked. I mean, we all see it when we drive by and stuff, but it's kind of blocked. You really can't see it through the buildings behind us and all that. But that's another thing, another Lakeside. They went out and people put up flags and they got taken down, so they went to a private party and put them all along that wall.
Dave gets a big grin when he hears that, the Patriot that he is, Dave. It's quite awesome. I don't know if you've been following it, Dave, but they had the flags were on the side of the road. Caltrans came, did their job. I mean, I even was kind of caught up there on social media, and I got ragged on a little bit for my position, but I straightened myself out. You know what? It is Caltrans private property. So what did the community leader of Lakeside do? He rounded up his own thing, solved the problem by himself, got a whole bunch of the community together like he always does, and everyone just forgot about the crud that happened with Caltrans. So that's a problem solver right there. Shout out to Billy. But Dave, with this team against, I was kind of funny that Ron actually slipped up and said Sarah. When I was doing my writing up a game a little bit, I said, calling this team by a different name isn't as difficult, I don't think, as when we call other teams. Of course, we always get stuck saying San Diego Chargers, right? I've got so enamored with it now. I purposely say San Diego Chargers just to make everybody mad because I didn't break up with the Chargers, right? They broke up with me. So I can call them whatever I want, but I didn't think it'd be that difficult to get away from the Sarah Conquistadors, Dave.
I don't know. I mean, there's also the Washington football team. I mean, whoever thought of that one, which is also in the works still. They're talking about still renaming it, and believe it or not, a lot of the fans, from what I understand, have kind of become accustomed to the football team, as opposed to some of them I've heard the Washington Presidents or some. I mean, come on. I mean, but I mean, that's their cup of tea over at Sarah, Canyon, whatever. I mean, it's whatever's going to make everybody get along. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I brought it. Let's
No,
go around.
I'm just saying, I guess there's bigger fish to fry.
I won't dwell on it. These guys don't care. They just want to get out there, like they said, and hit somebody on Friday night. So it doesn't matter, Austin. It doesn't matter if they're brown and gold. It doesn't matter if they are red and black. Just tell me, as you guys get ready for this game, can you guys, look beyond what coach is saying as far as, maybe we don't know, maybe we do, but is it going to fall upon you guys just to execute the game plan against them?
Can you repeat that last part again? It cut out a tiny bit.
Is it gonna fall upon you guys? Do you guys control your destiny in this game as far as you guys from what you know about the team? What these guys? I know you said that you don't know as much, but there's still a game plan in there. And is it falling upon you guys to just execute like you need to do and not worry about who we're playing?
Yes, sir. Of course. I agree. We definitely control our destiny and all of our games. It's really up to us and how much effort we're gonna put in, and I truly believe that we're gonna go 100% all the time. We've been working for it.
Dave?
Well, we got a lot of veterans. We know what we're doing, and when you have a solid line and like the Vaqueros do, and a solid game plan, and as Coach said before, everybody being on the same page, more like a family atmosphere. I think that is crucial to the success that they can have this season. So to answer your question, I think that's exactly what it is.
Hey, shout out the sponsors, Dave. Look at that. Would you? That's the order that they always appear in. So, Coach, you don't have to worry. It's always the first one right in there every time. Want to thank these guys. Want to thank Coach for taking time out of his life. We do a show with Coach every week. If he wasn't doing 20 different things every day, that's for sure. So, shout out to these guys. Xavier Peace, two-time CIF track and field champ. Was awesome to see his performances out there that day in the 200 and 400, if I'm not mistaken. Alex, you'll be a CIF champion this season for sure in your field event. And thank you again for being the intern at the press there at the track meet. Austin Oesterling, thanks a lot. And the guys who got us in trouble, Savvy Yokley, Antwone Yokley, the Yokley brothers, and Coach Ron Berner, thank you so much. Great to see you, sir. Can't wait to see. Coach, I'm sorry, Ron. All these games, they actually are winnable. I think you know that. I think the team actually knows that, and I think they also know that they can lose the games. These are all going to be competitive games, but games that every single one of them you're going to be in. It's unquestionable.
It'll be fun. It's like you said. Every game is a winnable game, but I think that no matter who we're playing that way, but I don't know who said West Hills was a sleeper, but they're absolutely not a sleeper. They're going to be just as competitive as Monte Vista, Santa. Like our league's going to be competitive. First of all, whenever we play West Hills, it doesn't matter who has the better athletes. It's a barn burner no matter what. Anyway, we go toe to toe. It's just always that way, and I'm going to expect nothing less than a hard-fought game for every game we play, to be honest.
Well, Dave, we did the shows once or twice with Coach. We've had some nice shows with some nice presentation. Of course, that's the last game of the season, so probably can get something together. Who knows? The way Ron's talking it up already, and I know he wants to go week by week. He's kind of hyping it up as a potential league championship type game. All those games down the stretch are going to be league championship type games. I'm the one calling them a sleeper because they did not share in that championship with you guys last year. And to me, they look like the up-and-coming team. That's what I'm saying. And I'll say it right to West Hills. I think that they are going to be they're going to – look, I might have even said in the column today that West Hills is going to win by maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. I think they'll actually beat Kearney by much more than that. but I was just trying to be respectful.
Nice.
And I think we're going to see exactly what West Hills is doing on Friday. I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised. But this is the El Cap preview. Dave, thanks for getting these guys together. Thank you so much to the El Capitan Vaqueros. Go ahead and say it, Ron. Dave wants you to so bad.
I have to save it for game time. I can't think.
Oh, you say it,
Oh,
Dave.
man.
You say it, Dave.
Savigon, you can say it. Come on.
How about the Vaqueros?
Yeah.
There
How
you
about
go.
them
There you go.
Vaqueros?
I
All right,
love
you
it.
guys.
Hey,
Thanks a
Great
lot
to
for
see
having
you
us
guys.
on. Take care.